Assistant Secretary Leaf, you referenced this concept of the Palestinian Authority returning to Gaza, something some senior administration officials, including the President of the United States, is mentioning, discussing a revitalized Palestinian Authority. Assistant Secretary, what specific parameters will meet the threshold for a revitalized Palestinian Authority?
So the PA government, the new government that was established in April, has a reform agenda of its own, and one that we are pressing them to implement. And that goes to accountability, transparency, rooting out corruption, enabling services to the public, basically the kind of thing, bread and butter things that any government owes its people and also owes its donors. The problems it's facing right now is a severe financial crisis. That is one that has been in part the product of October 7th and the closure of the West Bank in large part to traffic and a shrinking of the economy. It's also the withholding of clearance revenues by the Israeli government at this point. The reform it needs to undertake is to make it fit and proper for governance where it is now, let alone the ability to govern a larger portion of public.
Right, so if you could briefly speak to what specific actions are needed to meet the criteria of reform PAs, political and financial reforms, would it be a total abolition, I would hope, of pay-for-slave programs? What else? Yes,
that's exactly right. It's a mix of administrative reforms that go to the issue of accountability of the money that it has and where it's going and how it's being spent. But you're right, prisoner payment, pay for slay, that is a key piece of a discussion that we have been having for some time, and I think we're very near a conclusion to that.
What steps, if any, do we know that regional partners may be willing to take in furtherance of this reform PA?
All of them want to see the same thing. All of them recognize the declining legitimacy and credibility of that governing structure in the West Bank. They all to every one of them want to see the PA assume its responsibilities in Gaza, but they're very aware of the weaknesses of the organization.
Okay. Moving to Hamas, they confirmed Secretary Blinken confirmed last week that Hamas rejected the most recent ceasefire and hostage exchange proposal. So trying to get a sense of where that leaves us. What steps is the U.S. prepared to take to increase pressure on Hamas and, if necessary, its external enablers?
So I think what you heard the Secretary say was something short of reject. It was a yes, but, with a lot of buts to it, the response that we saw on Tuesday night when we were out in the region. So some of those changes to the text were things that you could manage. Others were less apparently so. And we're in intensive discussions right now with the mediators and Israel about the way forward. We do believe ultimately this proposal is the best roadway to get an end to the conflict now that would enable a multitude of things and that would ultimately be offer the prospect for an end to the conflict altogether, ensuring Israel's security, of course, and ensuring the security, frankly, of the people who have of Gaza who have labored under this terrible regime.
Lastly, Assistant Secretary Leaf, I'm asking you, when the U.S. withholds arms from Israel or seeks to enact arbitrary red lines on Israel, how does this not embolden Hamas and lead to them thinking they can outlast the war without releasing hostages?
Senator, let me be really clear on this point. There's exactly one case that the President asked us to hit pause on. There is no larger pause or cessation of security assistance to Israel. And the President, the Secretary have been absolutely
He's
clear.
taking that off the table.
Sorry?
He's taking that off the table.
There's one case. There's one case right now. And that
and
went
he's taking it off the table?
I'm sorry?
He's taking that prospect off the table?
Of that case? No, I mean, it's under review, but It is only one
Just,
case.
prospectively, then I'll ask you, if the U.S. were to withhold arms from Israel, how would that not embolden Hamas and lead them to them thinking, finish the question? Yep.
So, Senator, I don't want to deal in a hypothetical, but what this president has been clear about is we absolutely have Israel's back.
Thank you.